it as much.
7 ways to use a video to enhance your website. That's what we're talking about today on Real Estate Marketing and Coffee. Welcome. If you've never joined us before, well, you're missing out on some great tips. Don't worry though, don't worry. We have a whole list of episodes that you can reference at a later time. Message either one of us, myself, Ed Troxell, or
Amanda Condyles.
Yes, and we come to you live every Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific to share tips around real estate and entrepreneurship and really how you can market yourself here online using easy and effective tools that make it so much nicer for you to show up and enjoy your time here online. Now, today we're going to be talking about 7 ways you can use video to enhance your website. And these are some really good ones. Now, before we jump into these, Amanda, I got to share some news with you and our listeners because I'm still jumping for joy. Like I was doing happy dances yesterday, and I still have that good vibe energy. And
all right, well, tell us what's up, man.
Yeah. So yesterday I had posted on Facebook a quick reminder for myself, but also for those who follow me as to why we show up, the importance of showing up, not even just video, but just in general, and how we make an impact. Quick story. I was in line at the coffee shop, and the barista who wasn't on the clock yet had walked in, but I didn't see her, but she saw me as she came in, somehow recognized me from the back. I don't know. And maybe it's the hair. I don't know. And she's like, "Morning, Ed." And I'm like,
oh, okay.
Like, it was awesome. And so anyway, the point of the post was really to remind us that we're making an impact on other people's lives, even if we don't realize it. This is somebody that we don't talk much, and it's not that we see each other every day or anything. So it really like caught me off guard and like made an impact, which it's stuff I know and talk about with my clients all the time, especially when it relates to video. But this one really stood out. And so I posted that. It's gotten a lot of attention and it's very relatable post. And one of my clients from my video coaching program had then commented how she was just thinking of me because she just got a new listing from a woman she doesn't know, but the woman knows her because of her, wait for it, videos.
Okay.
The videos that she's been putting out there, those videos that a lot of us will start to put out there, but maybe we don't get a like right away, or we don't get 100 views or 1,000 views, or we don't even get a share of it. And those videos almost can feel pointless.
Totally.
But if we remember the bigger picture and we remember why we're showing up, then we understand that it's not about those likes and the views and the shares. It's about us being consistently online, showing up as ourselves and being able to be there for those who really need us, but we don't know because we haven't shown up for them.
Yes. Well, you never know when someone's going to find a spare moment, right? Like someone's kid might be homesick today and they happen to find the time to tune in live, or to not even just our show, but anyone's show. If you go live today, you might find a whole audience. So you never know who you're going to pick up. Not everybody is commenting, sharing, even reacting to your post. And so without really having that, you have no way of knowing how much your reach is. And so I think that's a great reminder that even if it's not tangibly showing up, that consistency is really what wins the game every time.
It does. And so anyway, I wanted to just share that with you and the listeners, and hopefully that inspires more people to show up as you are and use video to your power, to your leverage video for it, because it's important, which is why we're talking about it today on the show. So let's start to dive in. These are 7 ways you can use video to enhance your website. And I want you to start taking notes on this, because even if you're not using video yet, for whatever reason, or you don't know how to update your website, or maybe you don't even have a website yet, because it's just work in progress, it's on that to-do list. Take note, because out of these 7 videos, you're going to also be able to use these on social media,
Mhm.
text messages, and anywhere else that you want to send these videos. They don't have to just be for your website. So that's an important note for this episode.
Yeah, totally rip off, duplicate, recreate.
Yes. So, Amanda, let's dive into number one. You want to throw out number one for us?
Yeah, number one is introductory videos. So this is really your chance to show the people who you are. You know, this is specific to your website, really an opportunity to wow them immediately. You capture their attention, draw them in. This is why I want to work with Amanda. This video right here, and just letting them see who you are.
Yeah. It's really important to show that on the website, and being able to have that introductory video is super helpful because it allows people to quickly click on it and see, is this somebody I want to learn more about?
Yeah.
In fact, I have one on my website that uh, even if you just didn't even click on it, you can see that there's some movement
Mhm.
going on, and there's also me pointing, because we have to remember, even with social media videos, most people, I think the statistic is 65% of the people don't watch the video with the sound on.
Mhm.
So we have to remember that we have to do something to help spice things up and get people to click. And that
Yep.
can be as simple as you smiling or pointing. You don't have to be dancing,
Yeah.
doing anything crazy.
No spinning the wheel, no nothing crazy like that, man.
Yeah, but having something there, and that introductory video on your website can be used for social media, and it can be used on a routine basis. Listen, you can set up a reminder on your phone once a month, every 3 months, you reintroduce yourself with this video. So then that way people get to see you and your content's already created.
Totally. And we do this with all of my new client care clients. We record a little video just introducing me and them again, because some of them, it's been so long since they've connected with their past clients. And so I always think about that when I introduce myself, like, how long has it been since I've touched these people? Because if it's been long enough, you can, like you're saying, Ed, reintroduce yourself in a really cool way. Like, hey, here's what's changed in the last 6 months. Like, if you get, I'm thinking real estate specific, but really any business, if you get a new certification or new type of training or whatever, you
Yeah.
can reintroduce yourself after that and say, hey, I know it's been a minute since we've chatted. I wanted to let you now know that I now offer X, Y, and Z. So you're
Ooh,
reintroducing yourself, but in a very subtle way. And these introductory videos, I think, are really underrated. Like, I think people estimate the impact that they can have for a few reasons. I used to work with an agent who was just so good in person. He was a
yeah.
retired police officer. People just trusted him. Like, when he sat down with them, like, they signed every time. Like, it was never failed because he was a retired police officer. He knew the community and his heart always showed through. And he had a hard time on the phone or in text or an email because that wasn't as clear as it was when he was face to face. And I was like, you need to design your entire lead gen strategy, even if it's video marketing, around people seeing you, because when they see you, they trust you. And I think
Yes.
the same is true for all of us. Like, there's this natural relatability that when people can see us, and some of us are great at it on the phone and we can transcend video, but really, I think having that face and
Yes.
that voice and then the motions in live time, it feels like you're right here. And so people have a harder, from a sales perspective, people have a harder time turning that down. They can't resist it, right? This is why TikTok is so powerful, because it's right there. It's in your face. People are watching it.
Yeah.
I
It's
just think why wouldn't you want to introduce yourself? And then I love what you're saying about reposting it on social media. And hey, you can do it in sneaky ways too. I posted this on my
oh,
business page, would love your feedback, right? Like,
oh,
you can totally introduce yourself in very subtle, sneaky ways that take the content you build for your website, repurpose it towards your social media, or maybe you design it in your new buyer and sellers. They come alongside of you and they're going to meet with you. So you send them a little introductory video. You
yes.
can repurpose this in so many different ways. Maybe you have an introductory video that goes out when you get brand new leads, and it can all be the same video. That's the best part. Record it once to your website and then upload it everywhere else in your automated drip campaigns, Put it in
Oh,
your standard operating procedures for when you go on appointments with clients. And this isn't even just real estate specific. Like
right.
this
Yeah.
can be, hey, car salesman at the Honda dealership. Hey, it's
Yes.
me, Amanda, your friendly car salesman. Don't forget about me. I want to remind you of a few quick things I can help you with. Awesome. Here's my number. If you need me, I'm available. I can put that on my website. I can put that in my email drips. I can copy the link and text it out when I get
Yes.
new leads. So there's so many different ways that you can take one piece, repurpose it, market it, make it work for you, and continue to reintroduce yourself.
Oh, you guys see/hear why Amanda gets paid the big bucks for client care services. It's because of that right there. You take that one piece of content and you repurpose it, you share it out across multiple channels, and you make it easy. And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it. But you also have to know before you hit that record button, this is what
Yeah.
we talk about when it comes to the video portion of things. You also have to know that it's not just pick up your device and hit record,
Mhm.
right? Because if it was that easy, y'all would be doing it, but it's not. And so don't beat yourself up over the fact that you haven't been hitting that record button, because you have to mentally prepare for that and you have to know
Yeah.
what's coming before you actually do it, and what the bigger picture is, which is why we do episodes like this to help you remember that and to remind you of
Yeah.
what's possible when you start to show up through video.
Totally. And that's a great point about being prepared, but also I'll say don't get too in your head about it. Like I can script
Yes.
something out to the umpth degree. And as long as I enter, like we say this with scripting and real estate all the time, but I think it applies to video as well. As long as you internalize the message, the
Mhm.
rest will fall out of your face. And that's the only way
Yes.
I can think to explain that. Like my voicemail scripts for certain clients that I call their clients on such a regular basis that I'm so used to leaving this voicemail script, I've internalized it that I can change it 8 different ways. It can still sound super professional versus monotonous because I've internalized the message. And so I think the
Yes.
same thing is very true with video is don't feel like it has to be super scripted because then when you read it, that comes across, but also don't be too in your head to where you don't do it. And then don't be too loosey goosey to where you're like, whatever, we'll cut it out and
Right.
make a really weird, choppy video. Like there's got to be a fun, fine balance. And to me, that boils down to just knowing your message and internalizing that. And then when you internalize that, the rest follows.
100%. 100%. So that was only tip number one, by the way. Just FYI, if you're just tuning in, 7 ways to use video to enhance your website. That was step number one. So number 2 here is demo videos for goods and services. So obviously, Amanda and I both work a lot with service-based business owners.
Mhm.
Between real estate agents and business coaches, we have services. So it's kind of hard to demo those types of things, right? But we have a ton of content, especially real estate. And it's something that we can demo something in our toolboxes. For
Yeah.
example, I have this light that is something I will use when I'm on location filming. When I go out to film with agents locally, I take one of these lights with me, and I could demo this on my social media, talking about how
Yeah.
this is the best light. It has
That you've
this
ever
nice
had.
little dial. Look at this. Look at this light. Like, you just
You can
instantly
use it as a
wrinkles are gone.
flashlight. You can do
Yes.
all kinds of stuff with it.
Yeah, you can dim it, you can make it brighter.
Oh,
You have
that's
all these
cool.
things. Yeah, by the way, this is the best light. It's just, I mean, look at that. Look. Anyway, and it's handy because it's not batteries like AAA batteries that you have to always switch out that die quickly. It's a USB plug-in. So you literally can just plug it in with your normal USB stuff. So
That's really a cool thought of sharing. I see where you're going with this. Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit, but I
yeah,
got
no, you're
excited.
good.
I see where you're going with this is you're right. We don't have services unless I have a client that's like, sure, we can record a video while you make calls on my behalf and I'll sit in the background awkwardly. Like there's not really a good way to demonstrate that. Or I could have a video of me just making calls, but once again, it's kind of okay. And so there's not really a good way to demonstrate it. But what we can do is
Ooh,
like for you, hey, here's a cool light. Let me demo this because it reinforces that I'm the expert in the space. Hey guys, if you're like for me, if you're making a lot of calls and you want to stay comfortable so that you don't get agitated and try to rush through your calls, these are the best headphones for you. This is the
Yes.
best dialer system to use right here. If you guys,
Yes.
and so that way, one, and you guys know, I believe in this principle at the core of my being. You're coming from value. You're coming from contribution. You're offering them something. Number two, it doesn't feel salesy. Why? Because it's not your product. Number
Right.
three, you're establishing yourself as the expert in that lane. And I think for all of those reasons, that right there is brilliant, because then on your website, gosh, my little brain is going now.
I
Then
love
on
it.
your website, you can have Ed's recommended products to get started with video, Amanda's recommended products for real estate agents or to get
Yeah.
started in client nurture or whatever. You've got all of those products that you can then recommend.
That's the beauty of it. And so just think about that, because I know it's easier when you have goods, even if you have a store, because you have the location there. But for all of our service providers out there, that's stuff that you can do with the stuff that you already have. Like, what can you do? Don't focus on what you can't do. Focus on what you can do, and be able to share that. Especially if you're in real estate. Let me tell you. Well, we'll get to what I told my client. What I told my client earlier about what she could do with her videos now that she got the new listing. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. Tip number 3, the next place, Amanda, what's the next one for us?
Informational videos.
This is good. This is
This
good.
can be so many different things too.
Yeah, it's true. It can really tie into the demo part, like we were talking about. Because you're really trying to help instruct the viewer to that next stage. Excuse me, losing my voice over here. Getting so excited.
Oh no. Handy water all the time.
By the way, that is another thing, talking about demos and information. Always have water, no ice, close by. And if you're listening / watching to this, ask us why no ice, and I'll tell you later. There's a little action step for you.
Personal tip for you.
Yes. Yeah. But yes, informational. So it's, giving people the next step, which, as you can see, that was something that right there, like just a call to action to help you understand why you need to do something or what to do next. Like, especially if you're providing information, again, if these videos are on your website or on social media, you're providing that information. You want to put the next step for people. You don't just want to say, this is a great water bottle. I just drank a bunch of water.
I like water bottles. Water is good. H2O. And I'm the perfect example of why it's so important, because I am so literal. My friends give me such crap about this all the time. I am so literal that I expect everyone in my space to say what they mean and mean what they say. Like, I don't infer. And I think a lot of us are inferential communicators, meaning I was a communication major. So here's where I'm going to geek out a little bit. We're inferential communicators, meaning we expect the rest of the population to infer all of this hidden meaning. And so we might say I'm hungry. And I might be inferring that that's an invite for, like, one of my friends does this all the time. She'll say, I'm hungry. And she knows I'm pretty much always in to go out to eat because I hate cooking. And so she'll say, I'm hungry, and then be like, meet you there in 5. And I'm like, we missed 3 steps here. You didn't say anything. We went from I'm hungry to I'll meet you there. I don't even know where there is. It's usually one place. I can usually assume it's this Mexican restaurant we always go to, but it's not guaranteed. And so there's that inferential communication. I'm literally, if I'm a client on your website and you don't tell me what to do next, I think your video is just an FYI. I don't infer anything else. I don't watch your video and think, man, Ed really wants me to sign up for his class. Now, I might get so swayed that I'm like, I need to find more about Ed's class, or I need to get more of this human in my life. How do I do that? And most of the time, I'm not going to do that, because I will purely take it for exactly what it says it is. Here's an update on the market. Great. Awesome. Got the information. Thank you. If you say, here's an update on the market, now call me to figure out what your value of your home is. Now I have an action step. Now you've made me think about it. So whether I take you up on it or not is irrelevant, but you're missing out on a huge, I'm not going to say everyone's like me. I'm probably a little bit more of a rare breed. And you're missing out on people who are just taking you at your word. And you're like, you've at least got me to think about it. You've at least put your face in my brain and reticular activator. So now when I think about buying, you've already given me a call to action.
Yes. And that's the beauty of it. And so just keep that in mind. I mean, I'm already, as you're talking, I'm like, man, I need to go through my videos and make sure I'm doing, like, even myself, like, because
Yeah.
when you're doing the work and when you're especially the expert
Mhm.
in your field, you know all of this stuff, but
Yep.
sometimes you forget to communicate that clearly to the public. So don't beat
Totally.
yourself up if you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't do this, or I haven't been doing
Yeah.
this, or it's not strong enough. Like,
Mhm.
we're always a work in progress. So give yourself some grace there.
Well, and everything, and I think video should be a huge part of this. Figure out what your why behind it is. Like if
Mhm.
I'm like for me in client care, if I'm calling on their birthday, my why is to make them feel special. It's not to get a house or a listing or that's not the goal here. The goal isn't to get a new client. The goal is to make the client feel loved. So I
Yes.
know the goal, and then it informs the next call to action, right? I mean, birthdays are a little kind of hard for a call to action, if you will, but when you know the goal and the intent behind all of your videos, then I want my clients to watch this video. So Ed, if you go today and you record a video, say for a new upcoming, maybe your video coaching program, you're going to
Yeah.
record a video today for your new video coaching program. The question everyone should be asking themselves is, what do I want people after they watch this video to do and to take away? One of the two. I want them to have this nugget of information, or I want them to do this. And it
Yep.
doesn't have to be a sign up salesy thing. It can be, I want them to walk away feeling special. I want them to walk away knowing I'm the expert. I want them to follow me on Twitter, whatever the case is.
I love how you randomly throw in Twitter. Like, did anybody else catch that? We're all thinking, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram or on LinkedIn.
I don't
But
even use Twitter. That's the
you
best
threw
part.
in Twitter, which I don't know. Do any of you actually
Follow
use
me
Twitter?
on
Like,
Vine. Follow me on
yeah,
my MySpace. I'll put you in my top 8.
I'm like, we're really, really stepping it up over here,
Wow.
going back to Twitter. No offense to those who actually use Twitter. I mean, I'm on
I
there,
know
but
all
I
the
don't
Twitter people are going
use
to
it.
be like, excuse me, we're
Yeah.
not dead here.
All
That's
right.
great. That just
That
came
was
out of my mouth.
hilarious. All right. So we're moving on to number 4 because I know we're getting close on time and we got some good ones here. So stick with us because we got up to 7. So number 4, personal or company profile video. Ooh, ooh,
This is good.
this is good. This is a lot of what we were talking about. Again, it's around
Mhm.
you. Who are you? What do you do?
Yep.
Why do you do it? Who's on your team? And can you guess where this video could go on your website?
Oh my gosh,
Because
so many places.
this
Like,
is a big one. And one of the most trafficked website, sorry,
mhm,
one of the most trafficked pages on your website is actually your about
about
page
me. Yep.
and company page, whatever it is. Um,
I
so
go there
this,
before I go to services, honestly,
yes,
every time.
yeah,
Because I don't wanna be in business with people I don't wanna be in business with. I don't wanna work with people I don't wanna work with. So clients, when I have a consultation, I go look you up first because I don't wanna work with people I don't wanna work with. And
yes.
so this video and this section of your website, I think is more critical than I've heard people be like, "I don't need that," and they're so wrong.
Mm-mm.
But I think
You
it's a
do need
great
it.
opportunity for video
Yes.
because, like, I'm just thinking to repurpose it, social media alone, you're who we are. Like, let's say we have the Condyles real estate team or the Condyles car salesman team or whatever,
Yeah.
Condyles coaching company. Whatever the case is, my say 3 to 5 minute video on who we are can be my social media ads that run every week.
Ooh,
Just this
ads.
one
Yep.
video link. Call to action is to watch the video. And then in the video, there's some like sign up for a consultation with us today, grab coffee on us today, whatever it is, right? Now I'm getting leads out of it. I can post it on my social media page numerous times. Like I'm even thinking once a month this video can
Yeah.
get out and that's not too much. And then I can share it on my personal page. I can redo the video, ask for feedback on my personal page. Like so many different lanes you can take this. Who are we?
Yeah.
You can do it in all of your, like I said earlier, automate like so many different lanes. And it's what people care most about is who are you? Who is Ed? Why do I want to work with Ed?
Well, and that's the thing. When you have Oh, okay. When you have at least a photo on the about page, that's
Yep.
actually you, not stock images.
Yep.
That's important. But then when you can take that to the next level and bring it to
Mhm.
life with a video, and maybe you can't get your whole team together. Maybe it's just a video of each individual. That's fine
Yep.
because people want to see who each of you are. Like if I go to a brokerage website, for example, and I see all of these amazing real estate agents, they all look the same.
Mhm.
I want to know what she sounds like, what she's sharing, because
Yep.
that's where all those sensors go off, right? We can't just look at a photo and say, okay, well, Susie's great and Tom's great, and like
Yep.
the photos for the most part are always the same anyway, right? We always have
Yep.
the same poses, but when you add video,
Well, they
even
tell you nothing about the person.
exactly. And if you had like a fun 30-second, 60-second, 90-second video from each of, let's just say, the agents showing
Mhm.
their crazier side or talking about, the three questions that they have to answer and have
Yep.
everyone answer those questions to give a little bit of, personality. Like, do you have dogs? Do you
Yep.
like dogs? Like, I'm a dog person, so that's all I got for you on that one. But you know what I mean? Like,
Well, but that's a great idea because I've seen companies do like goofy photos on their like meet the team page. Like
yeah.
there's one, I can't think of the company name, but they all did jumping shots and they were hilarious. It was all these mostly men. It probably was some kind of creative department because they were all doing like
Oh
this
yeah.
type poses with it from like up angles. It was cool. And they had them all answer some off the wall questions like, would you rather type random stuff? And it was so fun because you'd be shocked at what you connect with people on. But
Yes.
it had me reading through every single person on their website because I, for whatever reason, cared about would they rather eat 1,000 tacos that
There's
were,
that
I don't know, like
retention.
I cared about nothing
Yeah.
essentially, but I ended up reading them all because it was so fun. It captured me. And then I learned about this entire organization because they made it so fun. And I'm even thinking, man, they could have them all do fun, weird, kooky videos like this. In
Yes.
addition, like they can have their picture, but if you click it, it's their video. I don't know. I'm not a tech
That's the
person,
cool part. Yes. No, exactly. And that's where that
but it tells you
retention
so much
comes in.
about them.
Yeah. And that's where you'll get people to stay on your website longer, which is the goal. And they're going
Mhm.
to remember you, which is the goal.
Yeah,
And they're going to share that information out with others. You're
totally.
not going to know that they shared that information, by the way, most likely, but just know that that's what happens in that stage.
Well, in the movement, I think going back to relatability, like I just the number of things that people have connected with me on personally, like I used to have a Southern accent and
Mm,
people would connect with that. When I had that Southern accent and that Southern drawl, they would connect with it. They would hear it and they would, oh,
yeah.
where's that from? And it was a conversation starter. Same deal with tattoos. People see tattoos, but if it was my headshot, let's say this is my headshot, you don't see any of that. You don't hear, and now my accent's virtually gone, but you
Right.
don't hear accent, you don't see tattoos, you don't nothing. And so those connector pieces just by my headshot aren't enough because, well, I don't want to say they're not enough. It works
They're
more for you when
yeah.
it's a video for those relatability factors, like, and especially the about me ones, because I might say I'm an Auburn alumni and then someone's going to be like, oh, War Eagle. And
Yes. And it
man,
starts that conversation.
totally.
It's very important. And for those listening, don't just listen to what we're saying, but start taking notes if you haven't on ideas that come up for you, because it doesn't mean that you will go implement this right away, but just make
Yeah.
notes of questions you could ask yourself, or you could have somebody ask you
Mhm.
for these types of videos that you can put on your about page, your company page, or
Yeah.
on social media, everywhere. Um, all right, so let's get into number 5. Obviously, we're going to go a little longer in this episode, so it's all good if those listening are curious. So, number 5, Amanda, what's number 5?
Blog videos.
What?
Yep.
Oh, blog videos. How many of you are familiar with blog videos? Oh, that would be, yep. So, blog videos are a great way to just add content to your blog
Mhm.
on your website to keep that momentum going, to tell Google you got new content.
Yep.
And actually, that's what we do with this show. I put this over on my blog so that
Mhm.
one, I have a copy of it on my site, but two, there's new content that's showing up on my blog so that if somebody happens to come across that, they're still going to see this show. They're still
Mhm.
going to be able to tune in and get the information.
Well, I think like all of this, it allows for it's not either or, but both and more, right? Like I
Ooh, both
love
and more.
I know that was one of my favorite phrases that had a huge impact on me when I was thinking about abundance a couple years back. Uh, anyways, this makes me think of the people from like TikTok who will, like, there's this one sweet couple I'm thinking of, Matt and Abby. They're adorable. If you follow them, you'll know. But they just found out they were pregnant. And so they've done so good at being TikTok and YouTube famous.
Oh,
Like, it blows my mind. They'll release a little, like, and I'm not a YouTube person. Like, I do
yeah.
not watch those long. Like, I'm more for the short and sweet. They'll
Yep.
post a little short, like, hey, we're pregnant. Go, or we have a big announcement. Go to our YouTube for the full link. So they have a little sneak peek on TikTok, and it makes me go to YouTube to watch. And then they always lead me back to their blog. And so
Yeah.
it's literally this like multi-site jump. And I find myself doing it all the time where I'm like, I am now in this rabbit trail that I didn't expect on. But I think blog videos are a great example of either or and both and more, because you can write out your little snippet. Like, let's say we did a blog on today's post. Maybe we just do like, here's 2 as a teaser. For more, go watch the full YouTube video. Or here's a paragraph about what we talked about, kind of like what we do on Instagram after. Here's a little short synopsis. Go
Yes.
watch the full thing. And then that way, if people just want a short synopsis, you've touched those people, like the people like me, less inclined to go watch the full video. But the people who want a deep dive, like, you've done both, and it's taken you not that much longer of your time to really explain it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I love that. And that's such a great, they're giving those calls to action
Mhm.
because they're making you go from one platform to another, which is
Yep.
extremely hard, by the way.
Yeah.
So they're doing a
And the
really, really
ultimate
good job.
goal.
Yeah. Uh, all right. So number 6, I love the number 6.
I know this one's great.
What's number 6, Amanda?
Number 6 is customer spotlight videos.
Yes. This is such a big one. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, I had one of my video coaching clients who just got a new listing from a woman she doesn't know, but the woman knows her because of her videos.
Yep.
And it's amazing. And that's like the beauty of video. But what I then followed up with as another idea for her, for my client, is to be able to interview the woman to talk more about why she chose her
Yep.
as the listing agent. What is it about her house that she loves? Why is she selling? Like, to have some kind of story that
Yep.
she can talk about and share, so that it's one, providing that content for her social media platforms, but 2, it's also showing her as a different type of agent. She's
Yep.
going to stand out because she's taking the time to have the conversation and share that with all of us, which is going to attract even more people to her.
Well, and you've heard me share this story a billion times on here. And I'll just give the quick and easy recap. This agent posted a story about how she had helped set a record in this neighborhood, and it was all me, me, me. And I just kept thinking, gosh, what a missed opportunity to not highlight the client and what they did. So she was all, I set this record, my marketing efforts, I'm the top agent, call me. And I really think it should have been, wow, I don't know the seller's name, but Mary did such a great job maintaining her home, blah, 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 like making it so client focused, client spotlighty, would have had a very different feel for the entire post. This felt salesy and almost a little sleazy to me. Like, it just
Yeah.
didn't sit well with me. It still to this day doesn't. It was about a year ago, and it's still to this day, like every time I think about that post.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it could have had a complete opposite impact where I was like, man, that is so cool that she commemorated her customer like that. And I think it's really cool when you invite the customers in, because you're naturally saying, it's just like testimonials, but even better, it's video testimonials, right? And
Yes.
so you're able to live time, that person can put themselves in your shoes. Man, I need to sell my house. And look at this. This agent clearly cares. This agent
Yes.
clearly cares about their client. They clearly do, because wow, like they're giving
It's
them a highlight. Or what
yeah.
if like it's an old grandma's home and she's had it for 70 years, or I don't know, something crazy. Like, why not make a cool video and tell that story of
Yeah.
her wanting to transition her home into the next seat? Like, that would be so cool. And the
Listen, there was,
marketing on that would, I don't
oh my
know, I
gosh.
could be wrong, but I feel like that would go viral, of a sweet old grandma telling the stories of her home and the love and life that filled it. And that's your
Can you
marketing
imagine?
piece for this new, like, I would literally, like, if I was buying a home and that's what I was looking for, and I saw that before I went into the home, I feel like
Yeah.
I would feel that in the home. Like, I would when you go to those people's
Yep.
homes who are just like loving, and I feel like that would naturally put me in that space.
Okay, so I'm already picturing this. We're just stick with us for a second and then we'll get to number 7. I'm already picturing this, and here's the best thing. I mean, I would love grandma to be on camera, but let's just say grandma doesn't want to be on camera. That's fine.
Totally.
So the listing agent is walking us down the hallway.
Mhm.
Grandma's next to the agent. We're going through, all we see is the hallway of the home, and we hear her voice talking about what this hallway represents.
Like, how
The
cool is that?
grandkids, what running through here. I remember, this photo on the wall from,
Yep.
1950 or whatever. Like, it's just, that's huge. That is
Yeah.
huge. I have such a good picture in there. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
and I know, so on the contrary, and I know we're going long, but just for the sake of saying it, I know oftentimes in marketing, especially with real estate, they say to remove anything personal because they don't
No,
want people to not be able to picture themselves. But I think
right.
there's an element of doing it and marketing it in such a way, like, because they're going to be able to step into the home and see themselves there if you remove all the personal effects. But that doesn't mean you can't record the video with the personal effects.
Right.
And then you get both, and right, because then
Yes.
people in the photos that are listed in the MLS, maybe those don't have any kind of personalization there, and then when they go there, there's no type of personalization there, but on your video there's personalization there. And so don't be afraid to really show what that home was about, because I think like attracts like. And if, or even,
Mhm.
like, let's say, God forbid, grandma's passed away, like maybe having the son tell the stories of, here's where my mom would sit. Like, there's just so many cool ways
Yes.
that you could take telling the story. Or,
Right.
hey, maybe it's a family who just had their first baby and now they need a bigger home and they're able to, like, she took her first steps right here. Like, I mean, obviously you would need to be relatively close with your client, but like, what a beautiful picture. And then you can
Well,
highlight that on your website. Like, that's the kind of stuff I would fall in love with an agent in 2 seconds and want to work with them immediately.
yes. So this is the, oh my gosh. Okay. So this is why I love this conversation and what I get to do. So this could be a series, right? So I teach my clients
Mhm.
how to create their own online TV show. And so basically, this would be a series that they could do. And it doesn't
Yep.
have to, agents, stick with us here. It doesn't have to be you before you sell the house doing all of this. I mean,
Yep.
you would create the content, but you don't have to release the content until after.
Mhm.
So if you know that you're going to be doing this
Oh,
series
that's great.
of
Releasing it
all,
after.
mhm,
Yes.
if you know you're going to do a series of all of these different houses that you sell, let's just say you're selling 10 houses this year. So each sale, you're going to do one of these recordings
Mhm.
where you're talking with the owner. You're sharing a moment from the home. And then you're going to produce that. You're going to share that out on your website and social media after the sale as a
Yep.
celebration. So, yes, you just sold this place, but if you want to learn more about the story behind this and have your hook
Mhm.
and whatever, then that goes over to your website where you get
Yep.
more people's attention and they stay there with that retention part. And then you do this every month. We share out a
Mhm.
new one, or every 3 months, whatever your cycle is, and know that you don't have to release your series until you've had a few in the bucket. Like, that's a
Yeah.
big one.
Well, and you can, oh my gosh, I just thought of the best idea. Orphan buyers. Have you heard of that before?
No.
So this is basically clients that, this is real estate specific, but I think the same would be true anywhere where you have two salespeople or broker type scenarios. Um, so orphan buyers are basically like, if I represent the seller and these buyers bought, I want to acquire them as clients now. So I want to still show them the same, and same goes vice versa. Like, if the sellers are becoming buyers, maybe I want to show those sellers, on the back end. It's a lot easier to do with buyers. Anyways,
Sure.
so basically, like, let's say I sold my house here and you bought it. Now
Yeah.
my agent might want to claim you as their client. And so you could take this video send them a little postcard with a QR code to this link and just say, hey, it was, because oftentimes agents are trying to acquire the buyers anyways. You could easily say, hey, it was a pleasure working with you. Hope you enjoy the new house. If you want to know more about the story behind your house, use the QR code here. Now you've gotten your orphan buyers over to your website. They might think that was super cool. They might hate it, but if they hate it, they'll just throw it in the trash. So no harm, no foul, right? But you might have captured them in a quick and easy way that all you have to do is record the video, use it as a testimony, throw it on your website, and then use a QR code.
Yes.
Easy.
And I'm already, oh my gosh, we're going to have to do another episode
I know.
on this. Because I'm already thinking
I just was like, I can't help myself. I have to say it.
Yeah, I'm already thinking like that's what you send out to future. You send these episodes to future clients that are on your list. Go here, click on this QR or scan this QR code and hear this story. But also your past client who you just sold that home to, how cool would that be to receive that as a thank you gift?
Totally.
For lack of a better term. But basically, like if you sold my home and you did that video and you sent that to me 3-6 months later, I would be blown away.
Well, I'm thinking of my parents, like their agent did a really good job. My parents fell in love with their most recent home that they sold up in Chevy Chase, Maryland, because it had a pool and it was the first home like that Lily was there. And just, you know, like it was really like our best family house that we've ever had, I think. We didn't live there long. I mean, they only lived there for like 4 years, but 4 or 5 years. But still it was like home. And they ended up having this beautiful painting done of the home. And my mom cherishes it. But I'm like, man, if they had made a video of that with all of my mom's kids, like that would have meant the world to my mom.
Yes. Oh, this is good. We'll have to do another episode for you guys on this. Let's wrap up with number 7. Then we'll do a quick recap of all 7, just so that way you all can have that for us. So number 7 is support portal videos. So if you have a membership site or you're thinking about one, or you have a specific private section on your website for your clients, make sure that you have support tutorial videos there to help instruct them on what to do next. You know, maybe you have your how-tos there. You have an instructional video of how to navigate around your membership site or your support page, whatever it is. Have a support portal video. Try saying that 10 times fast. So this has been 7 ways to use video to enhance your website. Amanda, let's just go through and we'll just pop one after the other here. Yep. So go for it. Kick us off for number 1 as a quick recap.
Introductory videos.
Yes. Number 2 is demo videos.
Number 3, informational videos.
Number 4 is personal or company profile videos. So these can be on your about pages.
And then number 5, blog videos.
And number 6 is customer spotlight videos.
And last but not least, support portal videos.
Woo, that was really nice.
Bam, bam, bam.
Off your shoulders. All right. So this has been amazing conversation. I hope that you, the listener, has enjoyed this and that you picked something up. And we're going to practice what we preach. We're going to give calls to actions for each of our services. So if you are thinking you need some video help, you're either doing videos or you're not, but you know you should, I'm going to say reach out to me. Let's have a conversation and let's get you started with something and get you out there so that way you can show up more on video and start to implement some of these 7 ways to keep people on your website and to share these videos. Amanda, go ahead and tell people what you got going on.
Yeah, totally. So if you guys are struggling just to nurture your past clients, give me a call. We can strategize around some client nurture solutions and figure out a good fit, whether it's me or maybe it's a virtual assistant or maybe it's just a quick strategy call to kind of let you know what you should be doing. Reach out to me. Would love to help.
Yes, you can find us on social everywhere. And of course, over on the website, the links are here in the description. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. As you can see, we're very approachable and we're going to point you in the right direction, even if that means it's working with someone else because of whatever your situation might be. So reach out and we'll love to have a conversation with you. And until next week, we'll see you back here Monday at 8 a.m. And we hope that you have a great rest of your week. Take care, everyone.
See ya.